Hey, sports porchers. It's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back with Game 76 analysis of the Pittsburgh Penguins at the St. Louis Blues. Well, tonight the Pittsburgh Penguins did manage to lose again, but I'm here because two reasons. It's been a while since I've done a post-game report, and I think it's important to get back to those, even though there are only 6 games left after tonight. And man, am I just so excited. I'm just so pumped to see Koivanen and McGroarty get out there and play. I think this is going to be good news for the Pittsburgh Penguins for a long time. Let's get to the game first. The Pittsburgh Penguins jump out to a 1-0 lead and then basically play a terrible second period. All season long, the Pittsburgh Penguins typically, when they lose, come out flat in the second period. I wouldn't say they came out flat. I would just say Jarry wasn't ready to make some of those saves. But let's face it, the St. Louis Blues are an excellent team. They're 16 now, 16-4 in their current win streak. And they're just on a tear right now. They're really the top team in the NHL. They're the hottest team going into the playoffs. They will absolutely make the playoffs. We'll talk about that in a second. But as far as the Pittsburgh Penguins go, running into a hot team like that, here's what I like about the Penguins right now. They're just playing hockey. They're not going out there. They don't have anything to prove. They're not going to make the playoffs, clearly. They're not eliminated yet, but they're not going to make the playoffs. We've been saying that for weeks here on the Sports Porch, and if you've been listening to me, I appreciate it, and smash that subscribe button if you haven't been. But the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight, they just didn't stop. They just didn't quit. They were down by 2 goals. They could have cashed it in. It was 4-2, and the game was over. But you know what? They said, no, we're going to play this game till the end. And, you never know what's going to happen when you pull the goalie. And I'll tell you what, Mike Sullivan is doing a perfect job of playing Ville Koivanen and Rutger McGroarty. Had them both out there with the goalie pulled. And I'll tell you, seeing Ville get the puck down to Rutger down low and just slamming that past Binnington, I jumped out of my seat. I did. I knew they were going to get a point, and I know they don't want to get points now, but as a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, it's so much fun to see those young faces on the bench smiling away, learning how to win games, even though they did lose tonight. I just am so excited about the fact that these guys are up here and playing and contributing. I mean, Rutger's on the first line. Maybe he'll stay there. It looks like he will, playing up there with Sid and Rusty. And Koivunen on that second line, doing okay with Rax down there. And I like the way Sullivan, you saw it tonight if you're watching the game. If you didn't, on the bench after McGroarty scored it and they were going to overtime, he pulled those guys, basically arm in arm, one on either arm, just telling them how it's going to be in overtime. And the overtime period was a little disappointing. That ticky-tack call, as they were calling it, against Letang, I don't know how you can make that call. I get it. His stick's near the hands. They always call that. The stick on the hands, they always call it. I know I hate it, but they do almost always call that penalty. But I just rather see them play it out in overtime, 3-on-3. And to date, St. Louis was 0 for 4 on the power play, but not tonight. Robert Thomas is too much. That Neighbors, God, he's pretty incredible too. Jake Neighbors, he's got 21 goals on the season. Let's talk about the St. Louis Blues for just a second before I get back to the Pittsburgh Penguins and close this thing up. The St. Louis Blues look like they're on a mission. And I know everybody's saying just like 2019, but you might want to pump the brakes just a little bit. They will have to play against the Winnipeg Jets. They're probably, they may not win. They may not win the President's Cup, but they're definitely going to be the best team in the West. And of the teams in the West, I think the West, there's so many better teams in the West than there are in the East, between them and Colorado and Dallas. And I mean, come on, you got St. Louis in that in the last position probably. Minnesota looks like they're tanking. So who knows? Maybe Minnesota will end up falling down to that second wild card, and St. Louis might actually pass them. That would be interesting. But I think, if I'm a St. Louis fan, clearly I'm very excited about my team. Montgomery coming in and taking this team over and changing the way they're playing the game. If you get the time, I'm going to give a shout out to Hockey Psychology on YouTube. They have done a great job of breaking down every week all the games in the NHL, but in particular, they did a great job breaking down what has happened to the St. Louis Blues. You get a chance, check them out. Just Google them. Just look them up on YouTube. They're a great station. I like to go to them when I'm not watching games, and I happen to see that great breakdown there. Check that out. It gives you some really good insight as to why St. Louis is definitely doing the things they're doing. But Pittsburgh Penguins, I just love the way you got it going on right now, Pens. I think, with these new kids coming up, McGroarty, Ville Koivanen, playing on the first and second line. Oh, man, that just makes me so excited for the future. And, next year you're going to have some young defensemen coming up, maybe with Brunicky. And we've already seen what Pickering can do up here. And, throw in the two new Connors. I think the Pens got something going on here. And it's too late for this year. And I know it's hard to, keep that momentum going throughout the postseason, and there'll be other things that happen in the postseason. But Pittsburgh Penguins lose tonight, 5-4. But I'm just your hockey Jesus, and I'm just very excited. That's why I'm coming to you right after the game tonight. That and I'll be out of town. But hey, we got the Chicago Blackhawks coming up Sunday, and then again on Tuesday. So it's a back-to-back against the Blackhawks. They're one of the worst teams in the league. But hey, they got some young talent too. So why don't you get yourself a ticket, head over to Chicago, or stop by the arena on Tuesday, get your free $1 hot dogs. They're not free, but they're $1. So essentially they are free because, let's see, 15 hot dogs equals 1 beer. So you do the math. You can decide exactly whether you want to have 15 hot dogs or 1 beer. I'll be there. I'll definitely be watching the game on Sunday. And hockey fans everywhere, enjoy it. I just love it. Even this time of the season when the Pens are out of it, there's always something to be thankful for. Catch you on Sunday. Enjoy the hockey. Oh, if you haven't been watching, got to get the plug in for Ovi. Ovi, 2 goals to tie, 3 to win. He's on. You got to watch every Washington Capitals game now. At any point, he could break the record. They play tomorrow night. They play again Sunday afternoon. I think around the time the Pens will be playing. So gonna have to have 2 televisions going. But Ovi, go get that record. Let's get it this year. I wish you'd get it against the Penguins the last game of the year because I'll be there. But if you got to do it beforehand, no problem. I'm sure Wayne's tired of chasing you around all over these arenas. Probably not. But good for Ovi. Good for the Capitals. Good for the Penguins. I love hockey. I'm sure you do. If you do, smash that button down there, and I will catch you in the next one. Let's go, Pens.